Here we are.
Okay.
Mike, camp collar shirt. Good choice.
Thank you. We had a table read today, so sometimes you dress up for it. Look respectable for the actors in the network.
What'd you say?
Look respectable for like the actors in the network.
Oh.
Not be a schlub. That kind of deal.
Love a good camp collar shirt.
I always wear this to camp. That's why they call it that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Get nice and sweaty in it. Arts and crafts, lake, all the camp stuff. Kickball, gaga. I can keep going.
I've never heard of that kind. What kind of shirt are you calling it?
Camp collar. Specifically, the when the collar is a little
that
wider.
seems very CJ. Right there.
I got a lot of them. Good amount.
I don't say that insultingly. It does look very CJ.
What kind of chest hair are we working with, Siege?
Not a lot. Not a lot.
I'm going to make a guess.
Okay.
When you were younger, you shaved your chest hair one time.
Well, that's a yes.
No.
Okay.
Not my chest.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
One time I did shave an armpit.
Oh yeah, just one.
And
Shave it or trim it?
Yeah, I shaved it. Yeah.
Wow.
I had a friend who was getting into bodybuilding at the time. This was like in college. I wasn't even like, it was like 5 or 6 years ago. I had a friend getting into bodybuilding and he was shaving like everything because that just like the performance aspect of it, that people just do that and it's like very normalized.
Yep.
So I think I was like, again, obviously I never shaven that before. I tried it out. Awful decision. It's so itchy.
Growing back.
It is itchy.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Haven't done it since.
The mistakes you got to make, you know. It's part of growing up.
I've been shaving where the tattoos are for years and years, and really the hair doesn't really grow back very much. It grows back, but not like it was.
You have to shave the tattoos?
Nah, it's just like I spent all this money on the tattoos. I want people to be able to see them.
The idea being that if
Covered in hair.
arm hair grows over it, you wouldn't be able to see it?
You certainly can't. Like when you see tattoos on people who let the hair grow on you, it just doesn't look as cool. Yeah.
Never considered that.
Yeah. But now I have them on my fucking chest and my leg, and I'm not shaving all that. So.
Did you ever get any neck tattoos?
Well, you would see them. None. I asked my wife when I got the one on my chest. I was like, chest or back of the neck? And she said, please don't get any tattoos on your neck. So I'm getting something here, which I'm terrified of in November. It's going to hurt.
Like the wing area?
Rib cage.
Okay,
like, yeah, side here. So, all right, let's do it. Podcasting. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by Draftkings Sportsbook. Sign up for Draftkings Sportsbook by using promo code RTRS and brought to you by Adam Ksebe, the official realtor of the process, 302-864-8643. Briggs Auction, the official auction of the process at briggsauction.com. And Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka. I'm going to open up this in a second. The official sponsor of the Corner 3 newsletter with Zoe and me will come out tomorrow. Comes out weekly. Subscribe at rightsrickysanchez.com/newsletter. On the show today, the Sixers have played basketball. Yes. Against some fucking team from New Zealand. And then Paul George plays on Friday. Come on. What's going on here? So that's on the show. The annual NBA GM survey has been released, and we'll go over some of those results. Some more emails from the 3%. And we announce Fly the Process 2024-2025. That will be in the podcast as well. We have 2 weeks left, excuse me, to get up to $13,500 raised for our Bark in the Park team to raise money for Providence Animal Center. Oh, man, I'm sorry. We are, you know what? I'm going to drink the Surfside now. There we go. Hang on. We got to get to $13,500 because a generous Ricky listener has pledged to match $6,500 worth, which would take us to $20,000 raised. That would be great. You can still join the team as well. If you join the team, raise $100, you get our team shirt. The event is October 26th at Rose Tree Park in Delco. We thank LL Pavorsky, DraftKings, and Mortgage CS, of course, of being sponsors for the team. Look, I've said this a bunch of times, and we're only like $1,500 away or something to get to $13,500. Very proud of that. But it's been a really tough couple of years for animal shelters. All of those animals that got adopted during the pandemic, animals are not getting adopted now, and there's more strays than ever because now people went back to work. They can't surrender the animals because they don't take surrenders. They end up as strays. It's really, really tough time. So the money not only helps support the animals, but the people who do that work. And it is a not very high paid job, and it is very emotionally taxing. I know it from experience with my wife working at a shelter as well. So your money will be very appreciated. So any fundraising, anything you can donate, would appreciate. Carl Landry Record Club Live 2 is November 20th at Underground Arts. Me, Mutlu, the host of the Carl Landry Record Club, along with Jason Lipschutz, author and friend, but author more important in this particular aspect of It Starts With One, the new book about Lincoln Park. You can buy a $10 ticket, which is just GA for the pod, but a $29 8-second ticket will 8-cent ticket will get you a copy of the book signed by Jason. AU will do the pod with us as well. Then we're going to drink and listen to new metal all night. We got a DJ for it and everything. Tickets are in the link in the bio. And Surfside iced tea and vodka. Here it is. Well, the last time I talked about Surfside, I'm like, hey, Citizens Bank Park's going to be full of people drinking Surfside. Well, not again till April. But you know, everywhere else is drinking Surfside. And here's some great news about Surfside in Pennsylvania. You can get it at gas stations. You can get it at beer distributors. If you can believe this, Mike, you could not get this at a beer distributor in PA. A canned alcoholic beverage, you could not get at a beer distributor because of their fucked up laws in PA.
That is crazy.
Yeah, but you can get it in gas stations now. You get them in grocery stores, get it in beer distributors, as I mentioned. It's only 100 calories. It is 3 grams of sugar. It's lightly sweet. It's awesome. All the different varieties. And it doesn't have any bubbles because iced tea should not have bubbles. If you'd like to order it online, you can do that at statesidevodka.com, but you got to be 21. Without any further ado, Amos and the chef.
We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We was right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We were right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. Say the name.
Welcome to the Rights Ricky Sanchez podcast. I'm Spike Eskin, along with a guy all dressed up in a camp collar shirt. I think that's what it's called, right? That's Mike Levin.
Here we are.
Woo.
Too loud?
No, I was just wooing.
Oh. Let's go.
Yeah,
we are still technically, I don't think that playing against the New Zealand
No, still August.
Breakers
Yeah.
qualifies as not August. So I just want to be clear.
Yep, we're still August.
We're still August, baby.
Still August.
We're about to talk about the Phils. It's August.
Yep. Well, yeah. So Phils are dead. They got, this is the obligatory Phils part of the pod.
Yeah.
Phils just got their fucking asses handed to them by the Mets, truthfully. I was at games 2, 3, and 4. 2 is a very exciting game, but it even felt like one of those games. I said this to my co-host the day after. I said, it kind of felt like the Embiid 50-point game against the Knicks, where you got one, but it felt like I don't know that we can do that again.
Yeah.
And just fucking very sorry effort, man. 5 runs in fucking 3 games. It just fucking unbelievable. If I ever have to Trey Turner is now occupying the Tobias Harris part of my brain. And if I ever have to watch him swing at a fucking ball that I know he's not going to hit again, I'm going to put my head through a wall. So that's where I am.
I know that everybody listening to this podcast is not also a baseball fan or a Phillies fan, but I do think that it is important as a Sixers fan to have the context of the mood of the city, because it undeniably impacts how we approach the other teams that we care about.
Yeah. I actually wrote something about this for the newsletter tomorrow, but go ahead.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
This was fucking embarrassing.
Yes.
And I say that a lot every time the playoffs. I say it all the time. I say it in my regular life. I'm saying this is embarrassing and people should be embarrassed. I just want people to be more embarrassed by their behavior. And for you to be professional baseball players making a lot of money and to get beat in the exact same way for 3 straight postseasons, you should feel shame. You should feel pathetic. Ranger Suarez is the pitcher I trust the most in the world, and he got out of a ton of trouble. And I told you I trusted Ranger, even though he didn't play very well.
You did.
The last couple of months of the season after the back injury. But he is just a gamer, and he fucking sucked it up even as the defense was letting him down, and he didn't have his perfect control. His stuff wasn't there, like whatever.
Dude,
but he grinded, man. He grinded, and he got out of that, and he's the fucking man.
Every time he came out for another inning, we were like, they're going to try this again?
Yeah.
And but he got through it. He did.
And yeah, I mean, Wheeler pitched his ass off. Chris Sanchez did a great job. Nola, until that last inning, pitched really well.
Fine.
Aside from those two, it's a classic Nola game.
Yeah.
But like the entire lineup, top to bottom, should just feel so embarrassed by how they handled themselves. Obviously, Bryce had a couple nice moments. Castellanos had a couple nice moments. Like, of course. Yeah. Schwarber a little bit. Fine. But just to be as there's no more frustrating feeling in sports than knowing what the other team is going to do and your team cannot stop it. In football, it's they're going to run the ball, or that like Mahomes is going to pass it to Kelsey, who's not that fucking fast, and you could just throw 2 guys on him, and instead he's open for 15 along the sideline, and you're like, how is that possible? In basketball, the same play that's going to happen again and again. They're going to run pick and roll, and you're going to have to make a decision as the drop, and it's like either I'm going to hit this floater or I'm going to throw a lob to the big, like over and over again. And in baseball, it's watching them swing at pitches outside of the zone.
First pitch,
I think
second pitch.
Someone must have told them that like walks are gay. And if you take a walk, that you're gay. That must have been it. And they're like, well, I'm not gay. It's like, it's so embarrassing how they acted. Like watching the Mets pass the baton, turn the lineup over, keep it moving, and then just like put pressure on you, and eventually swinging at pitches outside, only in the zone, and letting something happen from that. It's just baseball, and the Phillies were acting like there was some big mystery, and just like first pitch bullshit, guys on base after 2 walks, and you're like, here's my time, I'm gonna swing at this shit. It's just it over and over again is really, really deeply frustrating, and that like the sequence of righties. Yeah, Castellanos was good. That's not to blame him.
Yeah,
but like
Castellanos was good. Castellanos and Bryce.
The sequence of slow righties that so rarely tap into their power anymore.
Well, Alec Boehm, what a pussy. I'm gonna be honest with you, like, dude, there's no way you should only hit 12 fucking home runs in a season. Fucking
lift the goddamn ball.
Yeah,
JT's obviously I like JT as he's great, but he just can't drive the ball anymore. And then Nick, he again had a good series, but like I would never throw him a strike. I would never throw him a strike. Yeah. I would just never throw him a strike. And whether it was Quintana or
Minaya,
I'm forgetting who. Yeah, Minaya. Like they weren't peppering the zone.
Dude, even Senga doesn't throw strikes. Kodai Senga doesn't throw strikes, and we just swang outside of Schwarber's home run. He just kept throwing fork balls outside of the zone. We're just fucking let's give it to you.
It's so embarrassing. And so you're just watching it. you're just watching it and you're like, you can't stop it.
Yeah.
You can't stop it. It's Jerome Bettis running the ball down your throat, and you're gonna keep like giving him the gap. And it's just over and over again. They just sucked, man. They sucked. It was bad, and they deserve to lose. And part of me, as I always am with the Sixers, is happy that I don't have to watch that bullshit anymore. And I worked till 2 a.m. last night. So I'm like, the idea of having to, on top of that stress about the Sixers or the Phillies at this moment is annoying. So it's like, fuck you. You weren't good enough to demand more of my time.
Yes.
You weren't good enough to do it. And during the summer slump, which I wanted to believe was just them being bored, that was the conversation around. I was like, oh, they just like took the lead and like they're up by so much and they're just coasting and they'll like put it together. You just can't turn the switch back on.
No.
And when that happened, this last thing, when that happened, I said, they are reeking of last year's Eagles. Reeking of it. And it's like, am I being dramatic? It is baseball. Things go the other way, whatever. And they were last year's Eagles, and they should be embarrassed. And the window might be closed. I mean, they'll still spend to do it. They'll make some changes in the offseason. Hopefully get guys that actually grind out at bats and aren't the slowest pieces of shit on the planet. Bone being as slow as he is like such another frustrating thing to not
Young
drive
and
the ball,
athletic,
to not
tall.
be. Yeah. He's like, is he the least athletic athlete of all time? Crushing.
So just two things, because I talked about this for 4 hours today. If you want to listen, the podcast of the WIP Afternoon Show, available on Apple Podcasts. But two things. First, the 49ers moment for the Eagles this year, last year's Eagles, this year's Phillies, was the Yankee series. The Yankee series at Citizens Bank Park, where 40% of the crowd was fucking Yankees fans, and they were hitting balls to the fucking moon, and laughing in our stadium and laughing. Judge laughing, Chisholm laughing, everybody just like laughing. And I was like, oh no, we're not like, we might not be at the same level as like real teams. And then the other thing is, two more quick. They all, like, the whole organization gave up at the end of May. Like, everybody thought they had it won. The players, like, took their foot off the gas. The fucking general manager ended up with Carlos Estevez and Austin Hayes at the trade deadline. A useless pitcher and a useless utility player. And by the way, saying that Austin Hayes is everyday left fielder.
That's embarrassing.
He's clearly a fucking platoon player
That's
at best.
pathetic.
A fucking platoon player.
Austin Hayes made my least favorite athlete of all time.
Do you know how many times he walked as a Philly?
I know, Spike. I know exactly how many times
How
he
many
walked.
times?
He walked 0 times in 82
Zero
plate appearances for the
times.
Phillies.
0
82
times.
plate appearances, 0 times. And I don't think, I wonder how many 3-ball counts he got. It might also be 0.
Yeah. How can you have no power and also swing at everything and also not walk?
Nothing.
It's such a bad combination.
And this is, people have said this to me, this is not my joke, but Austin Hayes 0 walks is Tobias Harris 0 charges.
0 points. Yeah.
0 charges.
Oh,
I'm
0
saying.
charges. Yes. Good one.
Really,
and then
really, really,
the last
really
thing is, I was unlucky enough to be at the show. We did our shows from Citi Field, so I watched the games in Citi Field, the games 3 and 4. You know this feeling because I'm sure you had the fucking feeling when it happened. When Lindor hit that grand slam, the feeling was, yeah, there it is. You were just fucking waiting.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You know, now we had base runners all night.
Yep.
Somehow only scored once. Bryce Harper leadoff double. The guy's still fucking standing on second.
Stranded.
He hit that grand slam, and there was a part of me, you just said that you don't have to watch anymore. There was a part of me is like, you know what? Fine. Fucking fine.
Yeah.
Fine. So at least we won't leave
fuck
it
you,
home.
fine.
Yeah.
I'm like checking it. I'm like watching it in the writer's room. I'm like kind of looking at it, and then Grand Slam, I'm just like fucking. It's really hard to be engaged while this is happening. I'm like, great, go fuck yourself, get out of here. I don't give a shit. I hated him. I'm miserable. I was so excited in the 22 World Series. That was such a beautiful thing. Gene Segura winning the wild card round, beating the Braves, and then last year, you know, another series win over the Braves, electric, and to just blow it in Arizona when it was all right there for you was just such a gut punch. That was it. Like, you just don't get that many opportunities. That was it. And here we are, like, trying to pick up the pieces. The team is getting old fast. Who knows what the solution is? Maybe it's Juan Soto, whatever. But, like, there's just not that many chances that you get to actually win one. And they had it right there for them last year, and they just they got beaten the exact same way. Like, how do you look yourself in the mirror when you get beat? Trey Turner's hips are just he may as well place his hips on third base. Because he's just like, I'm open right from the beginning. And if it's low, I'm swinging right over, baby. My hips are out there. How can I get to anything? It
does that fucking one-handed swing every time too.
Torture.
Yep.
Torture.
Okay. The rights to Ricky Sanchez, but there you go.
There's your Phillies talk.
For the Philadelphians who wanted to hear the Phillies talk, there you go. For the people who didn't, we're sorry. CJ, you might want to put a timestamp in the pod.
I'm so mad. Last thing I'll say, because I have Mets fan friends. I might have said this last podcast. Stop me if I did.
I have a lot, yeah.
And you obviously have more than I do. But
yeah. I saw a Ricky listener, Mets fan at Citi Field.
Get him out.
Yes.
I fucking hate the Mets so much. And a couple of my friends are like, let's text about the game. Like, oh, that call went your way or whatever. I'm like, I will say something that I can't take back to you during this game.
Wait.
Don't text me about it. So we'll talk about an Eagles-Giants game, a regular season game when nothing matters and we both hate our teams. That's perfectly fine. But during playoff baseball, which is the most stressful sport possible, you're going to text me something. I'm going to say some hurtful shit. I'm going to say some really irrevocable, damaging stuff about anything. I could say anything. And you got to not text me about that. This isn't fun. It's not supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be angry.
Me and three of my friends got a text. A friend, we all worked at WYSP together years ago. And the one, I won't name names, but is from New York, is a Mets fan. And he texted us at some point during game 2 about, like, well, at least Philly fans didn't boo their own player today or something. And I hadn't responded to the thread at all for the same reason you do. It's just going to agitate me. I just responded, God, you're such a fucking pussy. And that was it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's all you can say. Yeah. It's not I'm not my best self, but when am I?
What's the point of being your best self? The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is brought to you by Adam Ksebe, the official realtor of the process. You might ask me, how do you spell Ksebe? Ksebe. Ksebe. Look, Adam Ksebe is your key to getting a home at the Delaware beaches. He's your key. You think to yourself, I could do it myself. I could just look on the internet. Now, by the time you're going to bid on a house on the internet, it's going to be fucking gone. It just is. That's the way the housing market is right now, especially places like the Shore, especially a great place like the Delaware beaches. Talking about Rehoboth and Lewis and Bethany and Dewey, all those places. People want to live there. It's better than Jersey. The property taxes are way less. You need a guy who knows what he's doing. A team that knows what they're doing. That is the Adam Ksebe team based out of Long and Foster and Bethany Beach. Obsessed with it. Going to make sure he gets you what you want. Going to help you bid on the house. Going to teach you about which area you might like the best. Oh, no, that you don't want that street. You do want that street. And he is dialed in because this is all he does. They do Delaware. They do Maryland. That's what they do. If you want to buy a house, sell a house in those two places, Adam Ksebe, the official realtor of the process, is the person to do it. Now, other thing, I mentioned only Delaware and Maryland. That's where he could sell or buy a house for you, but can help you with any other state, PA, New Jersey, New York, all that stuff. If you don't have a realtor that you're comfortable with, what I want you to do is call or text Adam. He will find out what you're looking for, interview realtors to find you the right one, and that he can be your connect to all that stuff. So if he's not your guy, he's got a guy who's got a guy. 302-864-8643. 302-864-8643. That is Adam Ksebe's cell phone number. Or you can email him, adam@processrealtor.com. We love Adam Ksebe, who is the official realtor of the process. Might as well just say what Fly the Process is now, or do you want to talk about the fucking preseason game was 3 days ago. What do you want to do?
You can talk about Fly the Process. The ending of game 1 of the WNBA Finals, Lynx Liberty is going down to the buzzer with a potentially controversial call. So I got eyes on that.
Can we
But-
both talk about fly
Yeah,
the
yeah.
process?
No, I'm saying
we're
let's
doing
talk about the fly the
podcast.
process while
Okay,
I'm
all
waiting
right.
for the results of
Okay,
this.
okay. So here it is, the announcement for fly the process for the 2024-2025 season. I don't know, what number is this? I don't know.
6?
Well, there's Brooklyn, which is bus, Washington,
Washington.
D.C., bus, Milwaukee, Minnesota,
Indianapolis,
Indianapolis,
San Antonio,
San Antonio, 6. This is 7.
L.A.
L.A., this is 8.
Wow.
What the fuck?
Ridiculous.
Our partner, as always, is Fans of Philly. We love Fans of Philly. If you've ever been on any of these trips, everything is done perfectly for you. We're always at a great hotel. The pregame parties are always awesome. The tickets are always good. Everything is set. Your flights are always good. So this is a partner with Fans of Philly. So here's what we needed. We needed a road game outside of Eagles season, weekendish. And we like direct flights, place that we get direct flights to. So it narrowed it down. And then we want an angle for something. So this year, Fly the Process goes to Atlanta. Now you might be asking why Atlanta. I'll explain in a second. The trips, you fly out Friday morning, March 21st. We return March 24th. The game is on Sunday. It's a Sunday evening game. A 3-night hotel at the 3-night hotel stay, the Omni Atlanta Hotel, Centennial Park. It's attached to State Farm Arena, so it's right there. We'll have upper level sideline section tickets. We'll all seated together. There will be a post-game thing, whether it's on the court, whatever it is. Pre-game event with food and drinks included. Annual Fly the Process t-shirt as well. All of the pricing is on the link. So go to rightsrickysanchez.com/fly, rightsrickysanchez.com/fly.
So why Atlanta?
So we are calling it Dunk Away the Demons. So, Mike, you might remember there was a Sixers game against the Hawks in which a Sixers player did not dunk the ball when they should.
Interesting.
Yes.
Famously, I'm pretty pro dunk.
Yeah. Well, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to Atlanta, and we are going to challenge this. And I believe that this non-dunk has cursed the Sixers in a way. So we are going to dunk away the demons. Now, you can't dunk. We've been over that. I definitely can't dunk. So we're going to need the Sixers to dunk.
If I could dunk, I would be dunking.
Yes.
I would be off podcast dunking.
So how many dunks should the Sixers have to do in this game to officially rid ourselves of the Ben Simmons non-dunk?
Well, so here's the situation. The issue for me is not made dunks.
Oh, it's attempted dunks.
It is dunk attempts. You got to try. You got to go up strong, and you got to hammer that fucker home. Okay? Ooh, Breanna Stewart just missed a free throw. It might be going overtime. The issue is not, oh, no, they keep missing dunks. That's not the issue. You got to want it. You got to fucking try. I'm pointing at the camera so you know I'm serious.
Yep.
The Sixers last season had one of the lowest dunk rates in the league. They only attempted, this per this Reddit post, which I trust with my life, they only attempted 350 dunks on the year,
Okay, so
which
it's just
averages
over
out
4.5.
to 4.27 per game.
Okay.
I need you to double that.
9?
I'll say 8.
Okay.
I need 8 dunk attempts in this game.
Even if they're missed, they count.
Even if they're missed, they count. I need Kelly Oubre going on Clint Capella's head. I need Onyeka Okongwu getting crammed on by Andre Drummond.
CJ, can you put the thing up there so people can see the cool logo? Anyway,
I
go
need
ahead.
8 dunk attempts. Now, last Fly the Process to Los Angeles against the Clippers, which the Sixers won without Joel Embiid, in James Harden's house with us there. Kelly Oubre had 5 assists for us.
Yes, it was huge. You remember the crowd went nuts.
Crowd went wild for Kelly Oubre's 5 assists. Wild for it. I need 8 dunk attempts here.
Okay.
I would prefer 10, an even 10, but I'll settle for 8.
So
Gotta
obviously,
go up strong. I need Joel going up strong. I need everybody doing it. I want Maxi's been talking about how he's been dunking lately. Maxi dunks. Everybody's got to go up. If Kyle Lowry's still got one in him, bend those old ass legs, rise up, and cram that thing home, or miss off the back rim. It doesn't matter to me. I'd prefer that you make it, but I just need the attempt.
Now, we will make the team aware of this challenge, and I think they will be excited by it.
Yep.
8 dunk attempts will get rid of the demon. So go to rightstorickysanchez.com/fly. You don't need to pay for everything up front. You can just put a deposit down. Joe can work with you on payment plans. If there are packages with flight, there are packages without flight. And if you need a custom package, if you're coming from, if you want a flight, but it's not from Philly or something, just send an email to joe@fansofphilly.com. So it is Fly the Process 8. Fly the Process 8. And
Fly the Process 8 dunks.
8
there
dunks.
you go.
There you go.
Tie it together.
And great job with Tanner on the art. He also, if you look at the Rights Ricky Sanchez logo on the art, it is a reference to a famous Atlanta rap group, which is pretty cool too. So thank you, Tanner, for the great art. Thank you, fans of Philly. And we look forward to seeing everybody in March at Fly the Process 8 to Atlanta. Dunk away the demons. Rights to RickySanchez.com/fly.
There you go.
All right. Sixers played New Zealand on Tuesday night. They by the way, they are playing Friday night. Paul George will make his debut in a Sixers uniform, which is pretty sick.
In
Pretty
Philadelphia?
excited to see that. No, I don't think they're in Philadelphia. They are. Hang on.
Not in Philadelphia.
No, I think they're like in fucking Iowa or something. It's
Great.
against the Timberwolves, but it's definitely not in Philly.
I like playing preseason games in random places. I think that is cool and should continue to happen.
Did you see JJ Redick complaining about playing in Milwaukee?
I saw LeBron tweet about complaining in Milwaukee. JJ is nothing but complaints now.
JJ was said, not an ideal preseason for us. Fucking cock.
He's getting so much worse.
Yes.
How is he getting so much worse? Now he's just like, my whole attitude is just to be like private school guy.
Yes.
He's just like put upon private school guy. It's really rough. It's really rough to watch. The full Duke experience is back on with JJ Redick.
Yeah.
I love preseason in weird places. I think the Sixers should play at the Palestra. I think like the Lakers should play at the Forum. There should be a whole ton of stuff should be just like make it cool, play in cool places, mix it up.
Well, the
You
way
got
they're doing
41
it,
games at your home stadium. Like let's mix it up. Let's get people interested in from different places. I don't know. I like that shit.
So Sixers played the New Zealand Breakers. It was not particularly competitive, I don't think. My biggest takeaways, and MOC pointed this out on Twitter, is fucking Maxey got better again, man. The shot is, I used to say when he shot, it looked like he was throwing a bowling ball at the rim because it always looked like it was taking a lot of physical strength for him to get it there.
I thought that's what you said about Shake.
No, that's the way it ended with Shake. But I also thought that was with Maxey as well. But the shot is so much quicker and smoother and effortless looking, and just fucking was clearly above. This is the way he should look, but above the competition. You know, he looked awesome, I thought. You know, and Jared McCain. He hit some shots, but is fucking slow and can't jump. It's going to be tough for me with Jared McCain. And look, I don't know what to take from the Yabusele. You know,
I do.
Oh, what are you enthused?
Oh yeah.
Okay, all right.
I mean, be big as hell. He's 6'8", like 265.
He's a monster.
That's a power forward.
Yep.
In any era of the NBA, that is a power forward.
Yep.
He's hitting shots. He rolls hard. He's got soft hands. He can switch a little bit. I like the option of giving him small ball 5 minutes from time to time with other guys on the court that could do helpful things like that. You know, in games when Embiid's not playing, Andre Drummond is going to start. So for 16-ish minutes a night, you're going to need to cobble together some backup 5 minutes. Some of that might be a Dembona, but he's also a rookie that is, you know, has a high motor, but a lot of undisciplined behavior. I like him. I think he's going to be good, but there's going to be, you know, highs and lows. So I would love for there to be some like Yabusele, Oubre, Paul George, Caleb Martin, and change the guys that are just like, okay, this is enough. This is enough for rebounding Ricky Council. Like, let's just get a bunch of guys that can jump and be big and be athletic and see if we can survive it. So I'm very high on Yabusele. I think he's going to have stretches where he's a very important player to this team.
Yeah, I mean, God, how great would it be if it fucking works out?
Yeah.
You know, if we get one of those guys 2 years in a row.
What was that? Isn't that a Brett Brown quote?
Oh, yes.
Could you imagine
if it?
Can you imagine if we get this right?
Yeah.
That's Brett Brown about Gershon Yabusele being a serviceable backup 4.
Yeah, especially the year after getting the Oubre thing to work out.
Yeah.
You know, I think if that works out, fine. Oh, by the way, other quick thing. Andre Drummond shooting threes. Is this a real thing? He looked pretty good doing it.
Yeah, I mean, every NBA player can shoot
threes.
Privately shoot threes.
Yes.
Even your friend who we're going to erase some demons of in Atlanta.
Yes.
And it's just like, okay, are they going to cover you? And when you miss one, or God forbid 2, then what? And it's like, you really got to be confident enough. Your teammates got to be confident enough in you. It's like, it's just a different level. They can all shoot. So Drummond, I would prefer that he just became like a 65% free throw shooter. I don't necessarily need Drummond to be doing that. But I don't mind it either.
Kind of fun as a treat, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why he couldn't be like, you know, when Aaron Baines became like a good corner 3-point shooter for Boston and Toronto.
I remember very well.
I wouldn't mind that. It'd be funny.
Yes,
regular
shooting
season
threes is funny.
These entertaining little storylines, little runners, as we would call them in television. Just like, oh, Andre Drummond trying to become a 3-point shooter. That's something to like have a couple moments of over the course of October to April.
Do you remember when I was convinced that Boban had become a pretty good 3-point shooter, and it turned out he only shot like 2 of them?
He should have. That's on him.
Okay.
There's no reason. It's like, dude, if you're not gonna, he should have. He really should have.
I'll take it. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is brought to you by Briggs Auction. Ooh, man, we love Briggs Auction. I'm also curious as to what CJ comes up with for the Briggs Auction of the week for this week's auction, which is definitely different than the normal auctions. Here's what I'll say what's great about Briggs Auction. Several things. First of all, locally owned, family-owned, family-operated auction house, Garnet Valley. Delco, 4 generations of doing this. Very proud of Stephen and Stephanie, who have taken Briggs Auction to the next level. They are becoming the big place in the area to do these sorts of things. Online auctions are fun. That's what it is. Every week they have a new online auction. Either estate auctions, discovery auctions, specialty ones like the sports collectibles one and the one that's happening this week. Art you're not going to find anywhere else. Furniture you're not going to find anywhere else. Vintage clothing, collectibles, all that kind of stuff. Download the app at Google Play or the App Store, or just go on the web, and I suggest you just check in once a week or so. There's cool shit. I am addicted to online auctions. I kind of have a problem. So here is the CJ Briggs Auction item of the week.
Yeah, so the lot this week is a tools lot. So there's a wide range of different tools on the listing. I saw this. The Karcher 330 pressure washer.
Oh, I'd love to have my own pressure washer.
You're probably thinking, CJ, you rent. What do you need a pressure washer for? Good question. I have a dog park in my apartment, and it smells like piss all the time.
Pressure wash that shit.
I want to clean it up, and this Karcher 330 pressure washer seems like it could do the job for me.
Ah, that's a good idea. I would love to have a pressure washer for my, my siding, for my fucking front fucking walkway or whatever.
Good price too.
Yeah. I was wondering if there's anything in the tools auction. There's a lot of like outdoor, I thought it was like a fucking tractor, lifts, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. A few cars in there. So you just never know what you're going to find. It's fun. Hey, if you need to downsize, you have, maybe you, got something left to you, an estate full of stuff, you want to auction it, there's only one place you can go. That's Briggs Auction. Send an email to info@briggsauction.com. If you end up winning one of the auctions, it's very easy to pick up your winnings. They have open pickup on Saturdays. They can do it by appointment during the week, or they can work with you on a shipper. Man, I love them. Briggs Auction, the official auction of the process, briggsauction.com. That is briggsauction.com. Before we move away from the game, did you have anything else game-wise?
Yeah, I mean, McCain hitting no dip threes is cool. Like
Yeah.
he's a guy who he gets it. He knows what he's up against, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he needs to just be an excellent shooter. He needs to be able to get it off crazy fast. Oh, Link's looking good. And I think he is going to be scrappy as hell on defense, and at a certain point he's going to be able to compete at that level. I just think he's probably going to be gone before
Before it happens here.
it happens. And yeah, I don't know. I wonder what his value around the league wide would be. I feel bad being like, here's a guy that is fun, that plays hard, that seems like a good kid that people like and Embiid's impressed by, whatever, and I'm already sort of anticipating him being in the midseason trade.
Yeah.
It's kind of out of character for me. It's not what I love to do, but they should be foot on the gas this season, whatever it takes to win at all costs. And if the Sixers in the play, if we fast forward to April, May, and the Sixers lose because of rebounding and they didn't get the player that would have prevented them from seeming a little bit small, a little bit slow, a little bit less athletic because they were trying to win a trade or getting too cute or whatever. You just got to be right. Like Daryl's midseason trades here just haven't been right. He's been wrong. Who knows what was available, who knows how much he would have had to overpay for, who knows what other teams were being annoying about, whatever.
Never trade for Austin Hayes, but
no, definitely not. But like
George Hill.
The Phillies have not had good midseason trades.
Yeah.
And they've lost because of it. Or at least it didn't help them win. And yeah, George Hill, Buddy Hield, there's been a ton of those kinds of things that haven't worked out. And it would be nice to be on the positive end of that for once. And I'm not going to let my penchant for draft picks and building from within prevent me from going like, this is what they need to do. And they know that, and Daryl knows that, and he'll operate with that. He's not going to be precious about it, but you just got to be right. And I think Jared McCain, wow, Jonquel Jones ties it up. Unbelievable game happening in New York right now. I really want to root against all New York teams, but I do like the Liberty. I want the New York teams to suffer because of what they've done. The Knicks was an embarrassment. Now the Mets was an embarrassment. A little too many good things happening for New York that I don't like, but I do like this Liberty team.
Yankees were winning last time I looked.
No, they canceled baseball.
Oh, did they? Oh,
it's over. News. Alyssa was like, should we go to Dodgers-Padres game 5 on Friday? And I was like,
Doesn't happen.
I don't recognize it.
Yep.
I don't recognize it as an event.
Real quick, here is the JJ Redick clip of him not being happy going to Milwaukee, just so you can see it.
Milwaukee's a long way.
No sarcasm.
Milwaukee's a long way to go for a preseason game. Just thoughts on this trip you have ahead of you.
Not an ideal preseason for us.
Milwaukee's a long way.
Also, they already announced that Bronny is going to play in the season opener. So
I bet.
Yeah.
It's all about winning there.
Well, Shams said, yeah.
This is just how it goes. When you prioritize winning and what it takes to win.
Yeah.
And as he talked about with Rui Hachimura, I don't care what he got better at.
Yep.
I just want to know what makes him a winner.
Yeah. He doesn't care about the narrative that you're trying to create.
You got to get the 55th pick or whatever it was in the rotation who had a heart attack last season on opening night right away. Get him in there. Oh, we can't shoot? Get him in there. Get him in there, man. We got to do it. And it's ridiculous that you would ask another question about that. I would love to be like Gabe Vincent or somebody else who was like, I'm not playing over this guy because this guy wants his son there.
Yep.
That's embarrassing. It's an embarrassing. They've been an embarrassing organization for not every season, but many seasons over the last since the last couple of years of Kobe. Like it's been an embarrassing organization.
Before we get to our emails from the 3%, the female contingent of Rights Ricky Sanchez listeners,
I resent calling them the 3%.
The
more.
The more likely 18%, right? Or
I'm fine. We can settle on 18. That's
okay.
Fine.
we want to congratulate Danny Green, who retired because nobody will sign him. There is no way this is a voluntary retirement.
I also retire.
And there's no chance that if an NBA team called him, he wouldn't say yes immediately. So, but Danny Green did officially retire. So,
Hell of a career. Beautiful.
Congratulations, Danny Green.
Beautiful career.
This email came from Alexandra from writesRickySanchez@gmail.com. And I will let you know, I will tell you, Mike, that the second email in this grouping is maybe the most charming email I've ever read from a Writes to Ricky Sanchez listener. So this comes from a few pods ago. I mentioned that according to the statistics, about 3% of our audience is women.
Wrong statistics.
It's like 1.5% on YouTube and about 4% on Spotify. So, but here's what Alexandra said, writes RickySanchez@gmail.com. Spike, Mike, CJ, Daryl, and Norman. My husband got me into the Sixers and the pod when we started dating in 2014. He's a diehard Philly sports guy, so I had to get on board. I grew up in North Jersey as a Nets fan, going to games with my dad and watching Keith Van Horn's kids at preschool aftercare that I worked at in high school, and played basketball all throughout my childhood. It was super fun to get back into basketball in Philly, my adopted home city, while the Sixers were in the process and tickets were cheap, and then have some light basketball analysis from you both forced on me in long car rides. My husband also listened to Bill Simmons and hated it, and I hated it. The Ricky was the only one I could tolerate. Fast forward 10 years, me and our 2-year-old son are the only regular Ricky listeners, and my husband is forced to listen on long car rides. For the record, he's a Spike guy. I'm a Mike guy. I love the pod and hope the Sixers can get through the second round this year.
That's right. So
this one is from Maddie. I love this email so much. It is my favorite email. Hi, I'm a 12-year-old girl and I live in Toronto. I'm a decided Mike guy and often debate which of you guys is better with my dad, who is a Spike guy. Of all the basketball podcasts he listens to, you guys are by far my favorite. I've started recommending the pod to every middle-aged man I know. I have also started randomly texting my friends and asking them whether they are Mike or Spike guys with little to no context.
Great.
I realize this won't help the percentage of female listeners, but I am sure that you have a bunch more female kids like me who listen to the pod with their parents or are just forced to hear it when their parents play it. I know I'm probably a bit late to the party with this, but in my school, we had to write an essay type thing about the ship of Theseus.
No way.
I know Mike hates the philosophical debates, and I'm sorry to disappoint him, but I really think it depends on how you look at it. If you say it's a different ship after all the parts have been replaced, that is like saying that one thing is a sum of its parts. Continuing the argument, if someone loses an arm, are they that much less themselves? I'm not going to share my whole essay because you guys aren't my English teacher and probably don't want to hear it. Anyway, thanks for doing the pod. A 12-year-old Torontonian Mike guy. Maddie, 12-year-old Maddie.
Did she send it from her own email address?
Yes, she did.
Wow.
And I did write her back, and I said, even though she's a Mike guy, I would love to read her essay about the ship of Theseus. And then final one, this came from Zach, writes RickySanchez@gmail.com. Hi, Spike, Mike, CJ, Norman, Harold. I'm writing regarding the percentage of share of females listeners debate. I'm not surprised by Mike's position, being skeptical of analytics, but I am surprised that he hasn't brought up what I think is the more significant dynamic within the Ricky listenership. All of this focus on quantity is overlooking the gap in quality between male and female listeners. I'll cite my wife, LL Ring number 108, as example. In March, she gave birth to our son. This is fucking psychotic. In March, she gave birth to our son. He was late, and we had a scheduled induction for 3:30 a.m., the only time available. That was canceled the night before because the hospital didn't have any beds available. She went into labor that day naturally anyway. We spent the day hanging around the house watching TV. Around hour 10, when contractions were coming consistently at the required intervals, we went to the hospital only to find out she had a ways to go on dilation. But since she was supposed to be induced anyway, they kept us in triage for 6 hours. At some point, I suggested that we listen to the new episode of The Ricky to offer some sort of distraction, and she happily, or as happily as one could in this situation, agreed. We each took an AirPod and hit play. Everything was going great until Mike referred to Mo Bamba as, quote, socially 7'4", but fiscally 5'8", and I burst out laughing during a contraction, unable to help her focus on her breathing and provide comfort. But other than that, listening to the Ricky is probably the best memory we have, the triage portion of the experience. I ask you how many of your male listeners are sufficiently committed to Ricky to listen to an episode while actively in labor, because at least my wife is. So
Oh, yeah.
there you go.
I dare our male listeners to go into labor.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Maddie, you have a challenge for when you get older. You know, if you really want to be locked into the pod, remember when you're having your first child, turn on the Ricky. The Rights Ricky Sanchez podcast is brought to you by, what do I have? I feel like I'm forgetting one. Hang on. Oh, it's DraftKings. I'm a fucking idiot. Hang on. I got to make sure I have the right special from DraftKings. There we go. What's today? The 10th?
10th.
There we go. Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. So, Mike, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, have you looked at the line of this weekend's Eagles game?
I have not. I know they're favored.
Yeah, it's kind of psychotic. At DraftKings right now, hold on, let me see what it's up to, because it keeps going the Eagles' way. So it opened up as the Eagles being an 8.5-point favorite over the Browns.
Deshaun is really bad, and obviously a piece of shit, and really bad.
They're now 9.5-point favorites over the Browns.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
What are you thinking?
And AJ back, Devontae back. Is
Yeah.
Lane back?
Lane's back. They're all full participants in practice today.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this seems like a coming off a bye, everybody healthy, maybe a statement win that sort of calms the nerves.
More
of people
likely
around.
a 16-9 win.
Yeah.
Over the
16-6 maybe, and,
Yeah.
and they cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. What feels more spiritually right? That the Phillies blow it and also the Eagles blow it?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Dodgers are a -142 favorite over the Padres tomorrow. You Darvish going for the Padres. I don't know who's pitching for the Dodgers. I haven't seen. Do they even have any pitchers anymore? Do they have any starting pitchers? So, look, DraftKings is an official sports betting partner of the NFL. You can just bet touchdowns. You know, I was talking to a coworker today who was just like, I'm going to bet George Kittle 2 touchdowns tonight for the 49ers. You just do that. So if you don't really understand anything about betting, your first window in with NFL, just bet whether somebody has scored a touchdown. And if you're a new customer, bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly by using the code RTRS. That's code RTRS. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. If you had a bet on Eagles' first touchdown on Sunday, who'd you bet?
Saquon.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code RTRS. That's code RTRS for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet only $5. Only at DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Got to be 21. See show notes for details. You know, anybody who took Jalen Hurts in fantasy, realizing that Saquon's going to get those touchdowns and not the tush-push touchdowns, hope you didn't draft him too high.
I almost never draft Eagles or Sixers in
really?
fantasy. I just can't hate them with both sides of my brain.
That's fair. You don't
I
want
like
to
to-
lose money too.
Yes, I like to have a little bit of like hedging, a little bit of emotional remove from that situation. So I won't be drafting Joel in fantasy. You can't put all your eggs in one basket.
Well, Ike last night, I found out after the game, tried to reverse jinx the Phillies into a win, but ended up betting on a Francisco Lindor anytime home run.
Mm-hmm.
And
Small fist bump at his side.
And then parlayed a Mets win with a Rangers preseason NHL win.
There you go.
So there you go. So, Mike, the annual NBA GM survey came out, and I'm going to read you some of the results, let you know, you tell me what you think. The first question, which team will win the 2025 NBA Finals? 83% of GMs said the Celtics. 13% said the Thunder. 3% said the Mavericks. There were only 3 teams that got first place votes.
Wow.
Yeah. The Sixers were.
I'll take the field.
I would take the field. I don't.
No one said the Nuggets.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
No Nuggets. No Bucks.
No.
No Sixers.
No.
No Knicks.
So Sixers were picked.
No Wolves.
Sixers were picked. Basically a virtual tie with the Knicks for second in the East. The Sixers got more second place votes, but the Knicks got like close to as many, but then more third place votes. Whatever. It was essentially tied with the Knicks for second in the East. Cleveland 4th and Milwaukee 5th. Nobody even voted Milwaukee would be second in the East. Everybody very down on Milwaukee. I guess I am too. I'm just a little skeptical of the fact that everybody's down on Milwaukee. So who will win the 2024-25 Kia MVP? Do you want to guess who came in first in the GM study?
Of the Kia MVP?
Yes.
Luka.
Luka second with 30%. Giannis, just others receiving votes.
Are they giving it to Jokic again?
No. Jokic tied for third with 7% with Embiid and Tatum.
SGA?
HGA, number 1, 40%. SGA is on the cusp of overrated.
That is definitely something I could have predicted you saying that. I'm not saying it's wrong.
Yeah.
He's one of the top 10 players in the league.
Yes.
But
people have him like top 4, and that feels outrageous to me.
A little high.
Yeah.
Maybe a little high. He's awesome. I love SGA. We should have had him. we could have had him.
Could have had a lot of players, Mike.
We could have had him. He was right there, and I liked him so much. Obviously, I think he was going to be this good, but it always the resentment I feel for the players that we didn't take that are going to be Hall of Famers. Tatum, obviously.
Yeah.
Really.
A lot of them.
Real upsetting. What my life could have been. How we could have acted. How healthy I could be right now. I wouldn't be wearing this fucking Fitbit. That's for damn sure.
If you were starting a franchise today and could sign any player in the NBA, who would it be?
Yeah, I saw this. This is Wemby.
Okay, yeah. Wemby, 77%. Yes, even like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 10%. Whatever. Okay. Which player forces opposing coaches to make the most adjustments?
That's interesting. That's a good question.
Yeah. The top 2 are very close to tied.
Yeah. As far as adjustments, I would say okay, so they have to be able to think the game incredibly fast and process it very fast.
Yes.
And do JJ style.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing Luka is one of them.
Luka's number 1 at 33%.
And then there's a chance that it could be no, because you're covered in the same way. I was going to say maybe Giannis, but I'm assuming Jokic is there too.
Jokic is third at 23%. Embiid is tied with Giannis for 7% for fourth, but you still haven't gotten number 2.
Who makes it?
I think he's probably overlooked because it's a very obvious. It's not LeBron, but it is an obvious. You're gonna go, oh, you're just not thinking of him because he's been in the league for a while.
Who makes defenses?
Can I think about it this way? When you're watching the other team and you're like, oh no, where the fuck is he? Oh no. Steph. Steph. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Best center in the NBA, Jokic comes in 1, 87%, Embiid 10%, Wemby 3%. Which team made the best overall moves this offseason?
Got to be us.
We're second.
No, to the Knicks?
No. This is the NBA groupthink. There's no way getting fucking Alex Caruso and giving $30 million a year to Isaiah Hartenstein makes you the best offseason moves. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Caruso. I mean, Caruso's great, and Phil's is really going to be very.
He's not Paul
Hartenstein's
George.
going to be nice. It's certainly not a steal of a contract.
No. Thunder 37%, Sixers 33%, Knicks 20%. Which one player acquisition will make the biggest impact?
One player acquisition that will make the biggest impact. So it could be Paul George. It could be Mikal Bridges.
Oh, there you go. Paul George, number 1, 60%. Mikal Bridges, 13%. Karl Anthony Towns, 13%. Alex Caruso, 7%. I guess my question is, if the Thunder only got 2 players this offseason, if only 7% of the people said that Alex Caruso was the best acquisition and 60% said Paul George was the best, how do we flip that and say Oklahoma City Thunder had the best offseason? I don't know.
Interesting.
And then most underrated player acquisition. I'm just going to number 1, Alex Caruso. It's not underrated.
Is there anyone that on the list that hasn't been mentioned yet?
On the most underrated?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 of the 5 have not been mentioned.
Okay.
So I'll just tell you this. Caruso's number 1, 23%.
DiVincenzo Wolves?
No.
Maybe this was before that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. No draft picks, right?
No.
Is there?
When you hear number 2.
Gary Trent, Bucks?
No. When you hear number 2, you're going to... Honestly, number 2's not underrated. Neither is number 1. Put it that way.
Number 2 is not underrated, and neither's number 1. Towns?
No. Let me see. Number 2.
So you're saying the category is most underrated, and you're saying
this player's not underrated.
Okay, all right, hit me with it.
Like Alex Caruso is not underrated anymore. Everybody knows Alex Caruso is good.
Sure.
You know, KCP.
Okay, no, that's nice because he went to Orlando. I think I agree that he's not underrated, but it's an underrated signing. He's not talked about enough.
Okay, number
Because
3,
Orlando's-
Isaiah Hartenstein.
Yeah.
No, tied for number 3, Tyus Jones, and then Klay Thompson.
Where Tyus Jones went to Phoenix. That is a nice signing.
Sure.
That is a nice underrated signing.
2 more. What was the most surprising move of the offseason?
I mean, it's got to be Cat.
Cat, number 1, 27%. But number 2, Paul George to Philadelphia at 23%.
I mean, rightfully so. We've been talking about it for so long.
Yep.
That we sort of the public consciousness of it being possible was there. It wasn't an out of nowhere move, but for it to actually happen is relatively unprecedented as far as really good player, still close-ish to prime, in his home city, a desirable location that is competing theoretically for contender status, leaves to go to Philadelphia. That doesn't happen.
It's huge.
And now it did.
Okay, and what was the last one? Where is it? I lost it.
I really don't want them to let us down.
No, I don't think we can handle
I don't think I can handle
being
it.
let down this year.
I don't think I can handle it.
Okay, so the last thing on this, and then I have one thing about RGM, actually. I just thought it was notable that they said who's the best interior defender in the NBA, and Embiid did not even get...
They never say Embiid.
He didn't get any votes.
They never say Embiid, yeah.
You know? It went Wembanyama, okay, Gobert, okay, Anthony Davis, Bam Adebayo, Giannis, and Jaren Jackson Jr. I'm just like, whatever. The Giannis shit bugs me a lot. He's a good defender, but he's like a free safety defender.
Yeah.
He's not as impactful as Embiid is. You can't build a defense around Giannis.
No.
You could, but that's not how he plays.
Right.
So,
It'd be interesting to see if he's like, okay, I'm going to be more of an impact player and not just do free safety stuff. And I get why he does, but it's also like, you have to be able to do free safety stuff and also go like, that's it. I'm
and
turning
shut
off your
somebody
water.
down. Yeah.
And he never does that.
He's not a plumber.
He's not a plumber.
Yeah.
He's not a plumber. Sorry for being blue collar. Our wings are blue collar, Giannis.
So final thing, and man, did I what's the word I'm looking for? Did I sort of whatever. The last time I talked about Daryl, let's put it this way. This news not surprising. Tweet from Daryl Morey. Excited to be involved in America's first professional table tennis league.
Oh, God.
The USA is late to the party as it is already a top 5 sport in the world.
Sure.
But it will be one of the top spectator sports in America soon thanks to MLTT. Here's from the article per Sportico. Major League Table Tennis has secured $5.5 million in strategic investment from more than 20 business leaders, including Philadelphia 76ers co-owner David Blitzer and the team's president of basketball operations, Daryl Morey. The cash infusion will help MLTT add teams in new markets to enhance its national footprint and provide resources to help grow table tennis at a grassroots level. It will also enable the league to scout and sign talent from around the world, including sign more Olympians. Quote, table tennis is one of the most exciting sports to watch, as anyone who's seen it in the Olympics knows, Morey said. MLTT's innovative approach is sure to elevate the sport to new heights. I'm excited to be part of this journey. Now, Mike, the question is, do you think Daryl invested just so he could play table tennis against these fucking really good table tennis people?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do. And here's my reaction generally to Daryl starting a professional ping pong league that he's the fucking gonna be the face of. Come on now. Come on.
This is a visual gag, by the way.
Come on. Grow up. Play ping pong all you want. Say how great ping pong is. That's fine. Don't start a ping pong league.
No.
Don't start a ping pong league when you're a GM. Do it when you retire. Let Woj run St. Bonaventure when he retires from doing his real job.
Yeah.
If the Sixers lose
This is
in ways that they have lost.
Yep, this is a bad. Does he want to come on this pod where we just pepper him with fucking, hey, what were you doing when we lost in the second round? Were you playing fucking ping pong?
Were you playing fucking ping pong, Daryl? Maybe you played less ping pong, more acquiring someone who can jump.
Yep.
A little bit less of that. Then we'd advance past the second round for once in my goddamn life. No, this is stupid. I like ping pong.
It's fun.
I like
actually.
Daryl.
Yeah, love Daryl.
But this is an after you retire move, my friend. This is a retirement move. This is your Boca Raton. You don't need to do Boca Raton in your prime. Come on.
So I'll end it with this, in that we did get an email earlier about somebody who's listening to the Ricky while giving birth. This came from Michael. Writes to rickysanchez@gmail.com. Hi, Spike, Mike, CJ, and LL. A Brooklyn-based RTRS diehard. Number one, I've listened to many episodes multiple times and been on board since 2017. I actually fell in love with the podcast before I did the Sixers, about whom I have mixed feelings. Number two, JJ Redick was actually coaching way before he got to the Lakers. Last year, he coached his son's third grade team at Brooklyn Basketball Academy.
Yeah, talks about that a lot.
The Duke of Kid programs. Number three, I went to a kirtan, a spiritual Hindu sing-along, where we sung Hare Krishna for hours. I walked in wearing my Ricky cap, and one of the musicians from India was wearing a Ricky tee.
No way.
We both started laughing in the middle of a somewhat sacred space. We're everywhere.
That's really good.
Bonus basketball question. Would you ever consider a Ricky event in New York for your expat Philly fans? And non-basketball question, can we get LL to call into the show?
Unbelievable.
No New York events unless you want to do a Hare Krishna thing. Maybe we all sing Hare Krishna for a while. And then can we get LL to call into the show? No, but happy birthday, LL and Karen Pavorsky, who turned 60. I went to, saw them at their party, saw Jake, still 14 years old.
Beautiful.
LL and Karen looking fucking excellent. Both looking really hot. I don't know if you've seen LL lately or Karen lately. Fucking, I hope I look as hot as they do when I'm 60.
There you go.
Yeah. All right.
I should say we did go to the War on Drugs National Lucia's concert at the Hollywood Bowl, and our friend Eliza Hardy Jones, one of the 18% of female listeners that we do have on the show,
Yep.
was wearing a Say the Name shirt, and Adam from War on Drugs introduced her, as he always does, as 76ers season ticket holder, who is not afraid to say the name.
Adam
love Eliza.
loves yelling "Say the name"
He does.
on stage.
He's great.
And
they
I
crush
think-
it. It's a fucking Hollywood Bowl, dude.
Yeah.
It's a Hollywood Bowl. And I had some friends that were also at the show sitting other places, and they were texting me like, "This is ridiculous. Why are they doing this on their show? What is the 99.8% of people at the show that have no idea what that is thinking in that moment?"
I have
They're
no
just having
idea.
a good time.
And I think she wears a fucking "Say the Name" shirt like every concert. It's unbelievable.
Insane.
So, all right. Well, Paul George, Friday night.
Getting
we will be
close
back
to
with
the
you
end
on-
of August. We are dangerously approaching the end of August.
dangerously close. Are we going to get you eating a nut on Saturday, maybe?
I got to see if Alyssa's around.
Okay.
I got to see. I think she is.
Okay.
But yeah, we could do Nut Saturday.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. Are you down with TTP?
Yeah, Lick face.